because we've all been in situations where we feel really confident and everything just really flows, you know, and it's easy and you feel good. And then other times where you're kind of clamming up and, you know, and so it's just trying to find out what the difference is. Yeah, it's really powerful, especially with weddings, because, you know, I'll say to them, look, like you're creating a memory here, you know, with the music in the evening that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. I guess, you know, what do you want that memory to be, you know? How do you want people to feel?
Hello, my name's Nicole and welcome to another episode of the Big Chat. I'm always excited when I introduce who I'm talking to, but this particular person, I have not spoken to him. Well, my team just sent him a WhatsApp earlier and they said, is this the right man? This is 2016, the last time you WhatsApped him. So, interestingly, we caught up last week and he's someone that I very much wanted to have on the show and talk to. And I said, come on, I can squeeze you into filming on Monday. Please, will you come in and talk to us all? And it's a good friend of mine and a very interesting individual in Tunbridge Wells called Toby Boyle. And we're introducing him as Toby Boyle from TBM.
TBM.
From TBM.
TBM.
Toby, what does TBM stand for?
3 guesses. Toby Boyle,
yeah,
and music.
Wow. So you are a musician.
I am a musician by profession.
You are a musician. Yeah. So tell people that are watching, listening today, is that, yeah, I mean, you've done many things, Toby. We're going to have to get into all of this, but
I don't need to get into all of them.
Not all of it, but
all of those things. No.
How would you just, you know, if someone said, what do you do, if someone on the street said, Toby, what do you do?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I'm a musician by trade. So I play the guitar and I sing. I sing kind of, you know, I'm a functional singer. I'm more of a guitarist, you know, but I get by on the vocals apparently. So I still work as a musician, you know, as a sort of jobbing musician and performer. And I run bands that I've sort of set up over the years. So I've got 3 bands that I run. And that sort of turned into a business a long time ago, about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I do that and I basically provide music for people for events and venues. So it could be bands, it could be one of my bands, or it could be someone says, oh, we want a Rolling Stones band, you know, can you get us one? And I go and find a good one for them.
Yeah.
Or duos, acoustic acts, solos, duos. We're putting a load of that into a restaurant in Tunbridge Wells, TN1.
Yeah.
Bar and kitchen, got
the
name right there, in Monson Road.
Yeah.
And we're doing music there 4 nights a week at the moment, Thursday to Sunday. So
4 nights a week? So
literally I just source the players,
yeah, and
I manage the whole thing, the whole music side of it for them, you know. So yeah, it's sort of one of those, you know, I do quite a lot of bespoke things where people are having a party and they want to do something a bit different. So like last summer, a guy who we'd done his daughter's wedding a few years ago with the Masqueraders band, which is one of my main bands that Myra's in.
Yes,
Jake,
I know.
And sis,
yes,
who you know, and we know. Do you know Jake?
I don't think I've met Jake.
Right.
I feel like I have.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him on stage because I had the Masqueraders back in the days when I did the comedy night.
Salomons, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd done his wedding a few years ago, his daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
And he phoned up like just at the end of lockdown, and it was probably about March last year, and he said, look, we're having the 60th, me and a couple of mates, but we want to do the complete opposite of, you know, either booking a hotel or having a white marquee in a garden. We want to do a music festival in my garden.
Brilliant.
So I went round to see him, and his garden consisted of acres and acres of fantastic land, you know.
Yeah.
And he had this field, so I said, look, can we do a music festival here? So like a mini festival. It wasn't huge. It was still all guests, but there was about 250 friends. So so we put in a trailer stage and all the PA and the lighting. A friend of mine's got a sound company, so he took care of all of that. And then we booked in a whole night of music, 4 or 5 bands, I think he had.
Oh my God.
So I managed to be playing in 3 of the bands.
Clever. Managed to shoehorn yourself into there. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, with different disguises.
Oh,
on each
amazing.
one, just try and make sure no one recognised me. But didn't work. So we had, we had an Abba band. We had the Masqueraders doing 2 sets. The first set was more sort of bluesy, rootsy stuff, and the second set was all the, like at the end of the night, all the party stuff. We had that Rolling Stones band that I mentioned to you, and it was great.
And I bet that was a blast, wasn't it?
Yeah, they loved it, and luckily it was sunny.
Yeah.
On that particular day. The next day, it absolutely poured down, and
did it really?
The whole field got, it was drenched. So luckily
that was the luck of the gods, wasn't it? If you have that the next day, that was close.
So it's all stuff like that, really. It's all music, live music stuff. I've played in a band called Bjorn Again, as you know, for years.
Bjorn Again, yeah.
Which is an Abba show, quite a well-known one.
Pretty well known. You opened the Pyramid stage, didn't you?
Yes, we
at a certain festival.
We did open. All my family are going to absolutely slate me because they think every time I meet someone, I say Glastonbury within about 2 sentences.
Well, I said it, so it's my fault.
Yeah. So we did that in 2019, and we'd done it before actually in 2009.
Wow.
So
with the Bjorn Again.
Bjorn Again, yeah. We were the first act on.
Brilliant.
On the stage on the Pyramid. So and it's incredible really, because that same year actually we did the Isle of Wight festival, the main stage. I'm not going to carry on name dropping all the gigs.
You're not name dropping.
We do those sort of gigs,
yes.
and it's when I first started doing it, I couldn't believe it because I'd never done a tribute show before. And like we were getting booked at all these massive, festivals, and Wembley. We support the Spice Girls, Wembley Stadium, and they're just ridiculous gigs, And I was thinking, it's a tribute band. How is this possible? And I think it started off years ago that the band was booked as a bit of a novelty act on these festivals, but it actually goes down better than most of the pop stars. Yeah. Because of the music, because it's Abba, isn't it? And love it or hate it. Yeah. Everyone knows the songs, and it's all feel good.
It is feel good.
It's a feel good show. So I think that's why it's a good opener for these festivals, because it breaks the ice,
It gets everyone upbeat.
Into the mood. So.
Yeah. Well, it was very weird to chat to you on Friday because, obviously this episode will be out on a Friday, but when we spoke, it was on a Friday. You followed an intuitive urge to see how I was.
Yes.
And it was the weekend that I was actually going to see Mamma Mia with my daughter, which was quite weird because that's not something I do every weekend. No. But we thoroughly enjoyed the show. She loves Abba. She loves it more than me, actually, but she's kind of ignited it for me because it was such an enjoyable experience, and going to see it at the theatre, like you say, the songs, the time just flew. It went so quickly, and I came out just really, really energised, which I think is, like you're saying, it's a great... Yeah,
and also like the way we do it is it's very rocky, and it's a proper band.
Yeah.
We're all...
You're all musicians,
We're all singing, playing live, and everyone's really good, and it's a show, there's dancing, there's costumes, there's a load of humour because we talk in these silly accents, and
do you?
There's a load of ad-libbing with the chat on stage, so we don't have like a set thing that we say, we just go into character, which again, I'd never done that before doing this, I'd always just been a guitarist, so I was thrown in at the deep end when I started doing it, and I didn't even know I could do it, but I can.
Isn't that often the way with some of the things we do? It's like we didn't know we could do it, and then you do it, and you're like, oh, this is rather
when you have
good.
to do it. I mean, I was literally they gave me the job, and the next day, I was doing a TV show with, you know, and we always talk in these silly voices when we were being interviewed, and I actually feel more comfortable talking as Bjorn.
I mean, if you want to talk like that,
Can I be Bjorn?
If you want to do that, Toby, you can do that.
He's
it's
a bit
fine.
flirty, though.
It's,
you know,
well,
to watch out.
I'm not good with flirts. I start blushing and all sorts, which would be very embarrassing. But I do. Yeah. I think anything having fun. You've always been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
you like fun, don't you?
It's. I think there's some part of my personality that does
mischievous
come out, you know. Yeah, because I can mess around.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's good fun.
So because I mean it's interesting because I kind of got to meet you by default almost, didn't I? Because a house that I still have that I rent out. Oh, actually no, it was another one that I had that you ended up coming and renting, and that's how we got to know you.
Yeah.
And which was great through your sister Myra. And you know, you were a fabulous tenant. You really were. But also, it was amazing when we met you because we just found out all these things about you, like your music. You came and did some things for us. But also, you do Reiki. You do.
I don't do Reiki.
Do you not doing Reiki? What did you do? What did you? I'm sure you did some Reiki on me. Myra does Reiki, I know.
I was trained in Indian head massage.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah,
Reiki you don't touch, actually. That's probably that.
Yeah.
But I remember.
Probably still the same stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's called something different.
But what else are you doing? Because you do.
Well, I do. I've trained in NLP and hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Which I know you've heard of.
I've heard of it and trained as well. Yes,
you have.
I have.
So I trained in that years ago.
Yeah.
Like 98, 99.
Wow.
I think. And so I've done some of that It's just always been an interest of mine in how people sort of function, you know, and how successful people are successful in terms of their beliefs and their thinking strategies and stuff like that. So just the psychology side of things. And also with music, you know, creativity and performing and how to feel confident on stage and stuff like that. So, so I got into that stuff years ago and trained in it. And I've been doing that alongside. I mean, the music's always been the main thing. Yeah. But I've had periods of my life where I've been, you know, a coach and therapist as well. Yeah. And recently, I suppose the last sort of 10 years or so, I've directed it more at performers because that's what I do, you know, so I've got experience of using it myself, you know, so yeah, I do a bit of that as well. So I help people with stage fright and, you know.
How was that during the pandemic with people? Because did you get to help a lot of people through that? Cause
it just went completely dead, actually.
Did it?
Yeah, because no one was gigging.
I mean, obviously no gigging, but I guess in a way, you know, were you talking to lots of people about it because of anxiety and things like that, or people coming back in doing it after they haven't done it for a long time?
Yeah,
Has there
and
been?
There was also this kind of new thing of people being scared of, because everyone sort of thought, oh, what can musicians and performers? They all went from playing live to like, how can I make money online? You know, and then it was like, that means I've got to start making videos of myself talking, doing something. You know? So there was this, you know, kind of wave of people that had fear of making videos, you know, as well. So I was talking to a few of those people as well.
I should have had a chat with you.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't seem to have any problem with it.
I'm all right now. I mean, I just like talking, really. But that's that anxiety, like you're talking about. It's a lot of people that come on and talk to me, they get really anxious, even just when it's a set or people are being filmed. It's quite a lot, isn't it, for people? You sort of take it for granted.
It's the same thing as fear of public speaking, isn't it?
And,
you know, whether it be fear of embarrassment, you know, or showing yourself up, or, you know, messing up, or what other people think about you. It seems to be different for everyone, although there's a few sort of general fears and themes that go through. But
there are.
Yeah. But I mean, when I started doing videos, I felt a bit anxious about doing it as well, because I've never really sort of done that.
Do you find that, because I don't know, I don't like having my photograph taken at all. I find that if I've got to stand still and pose, not like too much photography, but if ever I've got to do anything promotional and I have to stand, I get really, I hate it, because I feel like there's a moment that's on me, and I don't like that. I don't know what that's about. I'm sure there's something back there in the deepest, darkest. Yeah. But yeah, something like this, talking to you, and it's being filmed, I find quite easy.
Am I making you feel comfortable?
You're making it. It's the hypnotic Swedish voice that you put on.
Just boring you to sleep.
Do you hypnotise people with that voice? That would be interesting if you just went into your kind of...
I do slow it down just a little.
Yeah, you've got quite a good voice for that. But do you know what I mean? I think there's... So I imagine being on a massive stage where there's loads of energy that you're feeding off, and then you're going from that to being sort of one-on-one being filmed might make people a bit nervous, possibly.
It's a different context, isn't it?
Yeah.
And your whole
energy's, everything's different.
Is doing something different. But what I help people do is it's to get into the best state of mind or body for that situational scenario. Yeah. So so I'd work with someone on being on stage, and also do a separate thing for them if they're in front of a camera or making a video or something like that. So it's not so much about digging around finding the sort of long lost root causes of stuff. It's about creating a new state, really, or a more powerful state for that sort of situation that you've been in, because we've all been in situations where we feel really confident and everything just really flows, and it's easy and you feel good. And then other times where you're kind of clamming up and so it's just trying to find out what the difference is between those, and being able to practice as well. Yeah. Because a lot of the time I work with people and on their confidence, and they have to practice going into a confident state. Yeah. Which sounds really weird, doesn't it? But
no, but it doesn't, because it's really hard if you're in the wrong I think most people that public speak as well, they do a lot of. I always remember watching the Tony Robbins program where he jumps on a trampoline like out the back, like he's got a mini trampoline that he literally just jumps on, and he gets himself into a really sort of energized state before he goes out and talks to everyone. Yeah. Because if you're having a bad day and you come on, hello, how are you? It's not quite the same, is it?
Well, it's off. A lot of it is about using triggers, but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because very often we get triggered in a negative way.
Yes.
So for example, when I go on stage as Bjorn, I have to step into a different kind of persona. And we have a like an intro music that plays just before we go on stage. And because I've heard it so many times, that's become like a trigger to me. Yeah. So I know when I hear that, that's it. My brain kind of goes like that. Yeah. Into the state, into the confidence of Bjorn as character, and I can literally go on to any stage in front of 50,000, 100,000 people. Yeah. And just have no nerves whatsoever.
That's amazing.
And just go and be stupid and just mess around, and and part of it's because I've done it so often. Yeah. I know it so well as well. Yeah. It's a huge part of it is preparation.
Of course it is.
It doesn't matter how much, mind trickery you do on yourself. If you're not properly prepared, then you have a problem. But because I know the show so well, but I don't suffer from nerves, at all, really. And
have you ever suffered from nerves?
Yes, I have. Yeah, it depends. I could still suffer from nerves now if I went into, if I went to do a gig that I didn't know the material that well. I think I'd get a bit nervous about that. Because again, it's down to preparation. But from a sort of psychological cause of nerves, if you like, I don't really get nervous anymore. Because these tools are so good, they really do work.
Well, and also, like you say, if you know what to do, which is do your preparation, then you start to recognise your emotions, don't you, and have a bit more control over them rather than being controlled by them. I think that's an art. Once you realise that you can kind of, okay, I'm feeling this way, but if I do this, that will avoid that. Then
I mean, there's stuff you
manageable.
can do in the moment if you find yourself suddenly getting nervous. You know, there's stuff you can do in that moment to do with where you're focusing. You know, where your focus is, and also what's going on energetically inside of you. So there's little tricks you can do. But I think a lot of the time when emotions get in the way, it's because the brain thinks you're in danger or you're going into a danger situation.
Totally.
So if you do the work up front, you know, and that's why I say to people, like, these techniques, you've got to practice them at home when you're feeling really safe and confident.
Yeah.
So that you build up this kind of resilience, you know, or you learn how to get into that state easily. And then when you need it, you can just, you know, click into it.
Switch it on.
Yeah.
What would you do? You still meditate daily? Do you still do you meditate?
Sometimes, not a lot. I do
Not like a regular practice meditation.
I mean, for me, I do a lot of guitar playing and specifically improvising, where I just sit down with a backing track and got my headphones on, and I'm just playing, and that just takes me into this great zone, you know, and that's like a meditative state for me. Because it's very concentrated.
Yeah.
And I'm not thinking about anything else.
I mean, when I called you the other day, you actually started talking to me through the guitar, which was very interesting. I was like,
I was singing to you.
I was like, what? Am I interrupting something? No, I'm singing to you instead of talking to you down the phone, which I thought that was rather good fun. I'd rather love that if I rang my friends and they just either sang or played something. I'd do that all day long with my team if they let me, because that's quite, you know, I'm an eternal child like yourself, as you know. But what other things would you say that have helped you, like you're saying, daily practices that you might say to clients or people that you've worked with that really help?
What, that are
that
stage fright and those kind of things?
Yeah, or anything that just sort of helps you get in that, you know, just keeps you on top of things, day-to-day practices that you might help. Because not everyone can play the guitar, Toby. They can see you if they want to, because you do teach people guitar.
I do teach a few people, yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Not many these days. I used to teach a lot, but I don't really have time anymore.
Do you not? Okay, well, if you'd like to learn the guitar, you can get in touch with Toby, but you might not have time.
It just means that I've got really expensive.
Okay, yes.
I've only got 4 hours a week to teach, so you know, the price just, you know how it works.
Yeah, I do.
I think, like with meditative type practices, it's about, well, what are you hoping to achieve from doing this, you know, and then looking for ways to achieve that, you know, because you can get there in lots of different ways. You don't have to sit there and meditate. You can go for a walk, you know.
Absolutely.
It's about and there's so many different types of meditations and different. I don't know that much about meditation, actually. My sister knows a lot more, but you know, it was. I think the essence of meditation originally was more about concentration, being able to concentrate really well. But then people use it now for trying to make changes. You know, so they'll meditate and they'll have an affirmations going on and stuff like that. Which is kind of similar to doing hypnosis or something like that, you know. So essentially you're trying to program your subconscious to do what you want it to do, rather than have you go on, you know, autopilot all day and
also
keep repeating the same patterns over and over again.
Exactly. And also with hypnosis, I think what I found most interesting, I mean, I haven't completed my hypnosis. I have in NLP, but I then wanted to specialise, as you know, and I'm still going to go back to that. I did do half of the training, and I just found it very interesting that they sort of described it like sort of emptying a stress bucket, where you literally, you know, your brain, it just fills up with all the things, and there are so many now, right? But all the things that go on throughout the day, and if you don't get that REM sleep at night and you don't empty it out, then hypnosis is actually a really good way of kind of clearing the decks, and then you can be more creative in many ways. Yeah,
but I that's all true. But I think a lot of people they will jump to something like a therapy or something like that, or meditation, to try and solve a problem. Whereas they haven't got like the basics sorted, like getting enough sleep.
Yes.
And getting out, having sunlight in the morning, all the things that we as, animals need to sort of function better. So, that's what I've learned, because I got really into like personal development stuff. And then like a few years ago, I realised, well, I'm not really paying attention to my physical being, my nervous system.
Yeah.
Exercising is so important because it's a lot of it's about changing your state, isn't it? Like
Definitely.
if you're really stressed, how can you not be stressed anymore? Well, you could maybe meditate or do hypnosis. But if your nervous system, and again, I'm not trying to be an expert on this, but what I've learned is if you're in a fight or flight state,
absolutely,
then trying to suddenly relax is like putting the brakes on with the accelerator pedal down.
Totally.
That's why doing some like vigorous exercise is great when you're stressed, because it actually, chemically changes what's going on in your body. It takes you out of that fight or flight, and helps control the adrenaline and cortisol that's like going crazy in your system.
And did you find that? So was that something that you felt like you were almost like getting a bit to sort of burn out, and you're like, right, I need to address this? Or was it just something as you've got older? Because I sleep. I mean, I never used to be that bothered about sleeping. Now I'm like, I need my sleep. As I've got older, I know if I don't get my 11 till 7, I'm in a whole world of danger. Yeah, no, definitely. No, I think it was. I went sort of looking down that avenue more when I had a health condition, long-term health condition. And that also caused me to be quite depressed, the actual condition itself. And it was quite debilitating. So I was spending a lot of time in bed and lying around, and then getting more depressed, and you get into this kind of cycle, and I had all the mind tools, I knew how to meditate and all that, but it wasn't, it was helping, but it wasn't helping. Because sometimes the mind likes, if you give it too much to do, it's like, it just goes crazy, doesn't it? Absolutely.
It just, so I found that I wanted to actually stop my mind. I wanted to stop thinking so much. Stop analysing stuff. So, I think exercise is really, really good for that.
What's your favourite bit of exercise that you do, Toby? You like walking, don't you? I'm always seeing you out walking.
I really like playing golf.
Do you? Yeah. You're a golfer?
I'm a golfer, yeah.
Where do you play golf?
Well, I'm a member up at Nisel's.
Are you?
Yeah, I've just joined there, and which I was a member of years ago, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good form of exercise. You're walking like 7,000 yards or something, playing around more, actually. I
had a practice at golf. I had a practice with a friend of mine who's a golf teacher, and literally he said I was quite aggressive and angry. It's like I just was frustrated, but wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. So I think you do need quite a lot of patience as a golf player. My other half keeps trying to get me to play a bit of golf. I'm like,
it really shows people's personality.
Oh,
because
that's a worry.
Yeah, no, it does. But
aggressive and frustrated. That's me.
I mean, that could be just because you've not been taught how to hit the ball properly, and it is a really frustrating sport.
Yeah,
and a lot of people, they go and play golf occasionally, and they get really annoyed at themselves because they're not like Tiger Woods, and it's like, well, you're trying to hit this tiny little ball, with this.
It's not easy.
And if you're a millimetre out, it will go 100 yards out down there, So it's people shouldn't beat themselves up so much.
No, absolutely not. So you're going back to your music. I mean, music is in your blood, isn't it? I mean, your whole family, really. I mean, is there anyone in your family that's not musical?
Our parents aren't really.
Are they not?
No. It's just us three.
So
and our kids now.
Yeah.
Have got into it.
They have, haven't they?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Have you done anything with any of your kids? Have you had any projects? I know Myra's had a bit of play around here and there, but I mean, what have you done anything with any of your kids?
I mean, we've never done like a formal, let's do an album together, or anything like that. But we're always like with Jamie, my son, whenever we get together, we jam.
Amazing.
It's great. We just sit there for hours.
That's so cool.
Like Jamie's fiance and everyone's just like watching. They're going, what the hell are they doing? You know,
they're amazing.
About 2 hours, like coming up with all this weird. We're kind of, we got a good connection musically.
Yeah.
You know, but Jamie was, I mean, he's a fantastic singer.
He really is.
Guitar player.
Yeah.
Writes great songs. When he was growing up, I tried to teach him guitar when he was about 11 or 12. And it was just that thing of like, you know, you can't really teach your kids something, can you? It's like, they just take the mickey out of you or say, no, you're not, that's not right, you know.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, but I mean...
So he didn't really want to know at that age. And then he... and of course, it's embarrassing. Whatever your parent does is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'd be on TV, you know, doing a Bjorn Again thing, and that would be like, that was so embarrassing. Why are you doing this to me?
My children just hate me even doing the soapbox, so I can only imagine what they'd be like with the TV.
Imagine if you had to dress up in this costume. And,
no,
you know,
they'd not be happy with me at all.
Got a stupid voice on.
My daughter's already incredibly embarrassed of me at 10, so I can only imagine. But there must come a time when that turns to pride and they're proud of you.
I think when they get into their 20s.
Yeah.
Like Ilona, my daughter, she came to a gig when she must have been about 17, 18. And it's the first time she came to like a proper Bjorn Again gig. She'd been living in Spain for a few years. She came back to live with me at the house.
Yeah.
And she came to, I think we were playing up at Leicester Racecourse or something. So
yeah.
there's quite a lot of people. And afterwards she said, "Oh, I didn't know you did like proper things like that. I thought you just played in pubs, you know." Like, not that there's anything wrong with playing in pubs.
There isn't.
Yeah, it's funny this idea your kids have of you, isn't it? And they don't really know what you do for a job, I think. You know.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
So you're doing the TN1 bar and kitchen, is that right? TN1 bar and kitchen?
TN1
I would have just said TN1, so I'm glad you said that. And there was somewhere else in Tunbridge Wells. Is there somewhere else you're doing at the moment, or is there something else?
Well, with the music supplier at the Spa Hotel.
The Spa, that's
very,
right.
Very pleased to be
yeah,
there.
That's great.
So, you know, we do lots of sort of weddings and parties.
Yeah.
And music for people there. Also at Chafford Park.
Oh,
as
lovely.
Well. And there's another venue called Goodnessstone Park, which is going down towards Folkestone.
Yeah.
So we're there. So if people want live music, then, you know, we're like sort of the recommended supplier, if you like.
Amazing.
So we get quite a lot through those.
So, and if people want to, I mean, like, you know, obviously, I mean, I just think, oh my God, if I wanted you to come and do Bjorn Again, I couldn't ever manage that. You've been at Glastonbury, but can people get in touch with you about anything, can't they? Because like you say, you can help with your bands, but you can also help people if they want different sort of bands. You're good at connecting, aren't you? You're managing,
I mean,
getting
I think
people
because
together.
I've been doing it for so long, you get this sort of network, and you know, good people and good bands, and, you know, so and you know, as I say, sometimes people they don't really know what they want. So the first step is like having a conversation.
Yeah.
Saying, what do you want, and what do you want the music to do for you?
Yeah.
You know, if you go past the event 6 months and look back, and you can isolate what it was about that night that was so fantastic about the music. What is it? You know, what do you want? Do you want people to dance? Do you want?
I love that.
People to sit down.
That's such a like NLP goal
of
music,
forward, look back, and
isn't it? Though it's like find what you want, and then. But I love that. It's so powerful. That's brilliant.
With it's really powerful, especially with weddings, because you know, I'll say to them, look, like you're creating a memory here, you know, with the music in the evening. That's going to stay with you the rest of your life. Guess what do you want that memory to be? You know, how do you want people to feel? And then we work back from that.
That's really cool.
Because very often people come in, they're quite fixated on a style of music.
Absolutely.
We want these songs in this order, and which is fine. But it's not just them; it's all their guests, and it's the whole thing. You know, so. And very often people say, "Oh, we want jazz. We want jazz." I say, "Well, jazz is like this, you know. It's such a huge spectrum. So you've got to kind of make sure you're giving them exactly what they want, or what they think they want. Sometimes people say, "Oh, we want jazz band," and actually they don't. They want pop band.
I love that though. That's a really good way of looking at it. I like that. That's what's different. What other projects have you got for this? Like, what sort of things would you still like to do? Because you've done some amazing things and some great experiences, and I know you're so grateful and appreciative of everything that you do. But is there anything that you think, it's me now, is there anything you'd really love to do if you could do anything? Wave that magic wand, Toby. That magic wand. Yeah, would there be anything?
I have to say, this is a really boring answer, that like my goals have changed a lot, and I think they do as you get older.
Definitely.
Like I've been really lucky because I've played, when I was 16 and I dreamt of being a guitarist and playing on big stages. I've been so lucky. One of the lucky few that I've done it. I've played some fantastic gigs. So I don't feel that, that kind of like burning desire to be more successful as a musician, really. My goal now is to have a good life, is to have a balanced life with lots of times to do the things I like to do, lots of love, I'm in a fantastic relationship and I just want that to continue. And my kids are the most important thing to me, so it's all that stuff. I know it sounds really boring.
No, it doesn't. It sounds beautiful.
Dominate the world,
no,
but
it's not what it's about.
It's like I'm really happy with all the things that I do. I've got a lot of variety, which I've always needed, and I don't want to work too hard anymore. I've worked hard for like long periods of my life, and I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy life,
Well, otherwise, what's the point of all these things we're doing? It's like being a busy fool because you're rushing around, and it's great while you're experiencing it, but ultimately it gets to a point where, why are we doing anything? What is it we're doing it for? And if it's for love and family, there's got to be space to enjoy that. And if you're working all the time, you can't do it.
It's more like when I was younger, my goals were really about achieving X, Y, and Z. Now it's more about process of life. Yeah,
that's interesting. That's come up this morning, process.
So, and I'm just super lucky because when I play gigs, we're doing something people love. They're happy to see us, and me and Myra were playing at TM1 on Saturday. Just the two of us, acoustic. And it was just so lovely to make music, especially with her, because she's amazing. We've got a great connection musically as well. So, just sitting there playing, thinking, this is great. It's not Glastonbury, it's not anywhere like, there's 100 people in a restaurant, but they're all loving the music, and it's...
I'm going to get down there. I did not know that was going down, so now I do. So if people that are listening, thank you so much for coming to talk to me today. Right. It's been such a gift. It really has. If people want to find out more about, if they want to speak to you about any ideas or anything, they can, obviously they can come to TN1 and hear you play in Tunbridge Wells. But if people want to speak to you about all these other things that you do, even if they want really expensive guitar lessons... Where do they, or an Indian head massage that I'm very sorry I said was Reiki. It was not Reiki. Mara will slap my wrist for that one.
Do you know what? I don't really do that. I do it for
You were great. I'm upset about that. That was fantastic.
I don't do that as a job. I did for a while, but it's brilliant. That treatment that I learned is so good, isn't it?
It's really good.
Because I learned it because I was on tour with neck issues.
And
then this lady came into the hotel and gave me that treatment. It was called champissage.
It's amazing.
And I thought, this is brilliant. So I'm going to learn to do that. And I did. But now I just do it for my girlfriend and friends. And but no, if people want to get in touch with me, just go to my website. Which is tobyboylemusic.co.uk.
Not tbm.co.uk.
Not TBM, no.
tobyboylemusic.co.uk. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
May you follow all your urges in future and intuitive voices and reach out, because I'm so glad you came in to chat to me. Thanks, Toby.
Very much for having me on.
Thanks for coming.